Hello everyone. I think while completing the previous video, I was telling that we are having pending with the angles 45 and 90. Actually, I'm sorry, it was not 45, it is 0 degree because 45 is the one first we had seen. So in this video, we will see how do we evaluate the trigonometric ratios if the angles take 0 degree and 90 degrees. So for that, we are going to consider this right angled triangle, which is ABC, right angled at B, right? Suppose if this angle A gets smaller, means this line, if it's keep on reducing like this, from here it has gone down here, from here it has gone down here. So ultimately what happens, this AC is tending to become AB, means if the angle A gets smaller, and further smaller and smaller, what happens is this AC will ultimately land up as AB, means AC will tend to become AB, which means this angle A will tend to 0 degree. And then this BC, there is no BC in the last triangle because it has become 0 now. That means if the angle A tends to 0 degree, then this side BC will become 0. So based on this understanding, we'll move on to the next slide. Now, first, sine A, it is opposite by hypotenuse. Let us go back. This is sine A, opposite is BC, and hypotenuse is AC. So what happens? Opposite is BC, and BC is actually becoming 0, right? BC is actually becoming 0. That means what happens is the sine 0 degrees will be 0 by something, that will be 0 only, right? Similarly, cos A. What is A? A is nothing but 0 because angle A is tending to 0. That means we are trying to evaluate what is cos 0, right? Let me write it here. Here it is. Actually, what we are trying to evaluate is cos 0 degrees, right? Okay, so it is adjacent by hypotenuse. So let us go back. Adjacent is AB and hypotenuse is AC, right? So if you look into the hypotenuse is, adjacent is AB, hypotenuse is this thing, 0, right? Sorry, hypotenuse is AC. So what happens now? AB, so if we look into this AB and AC becoming the same, that means AC will ultimately become AB. That means cos 0 will become AB by AB, which is nothing but 1. So now that we have sine 0 and cos 0, the rest of the terms, rest of the trigonometric ratios will be easier to evaluate. What is tan? It is sine by cos. Sine, we already got it as 0 and cos is 1. So it becomes 0 by 1, it is 0 degrees. And cosecant, it is 1 by inverse of sine. Inverse of sine means 1 by 0. 1 by 0 you can't evaluate, so you call it as undefined. Secant 0 is inverse of cos 0. That means it is inverse of 1. Inverse of 1 is 1 only. Then cot 0 is inverse of tan. Tan itself we evaluated as 0. So 1 by 0 will become again undefined. So we have for this 0 degrees, sine A will be 0. Cos A will be 1. Tan 0 will be 0. And cosecant 0 will be undefined. Secant 0 will be 1. Cot 0 will be undefined. Now, further for 90 degrees, how do we do it? Consider the same right angled triangle, right angled at angle B. And what will happen if the angle A becoming larger and larger? Means if you look into this angle, then to this angle, and this to this angle, you may notice that angle A is getting enlarged. It means it is, if what happens to the trigonometric ratios of angle A, where it is made larger and larger. Why it is said like that? Because if you notice here and then here and then here, slowly that angle A is becoming larger and larger. Ultimately what happens? Angle A becomes 90 degrees because from here it moves on and becomes 90 degrees. So what happens? When angle A becomes 90 degrees, angle C tends to 0 because there is no angle now. For C, it is becoming 0, and further AB tends to 0. Means earlier it was having some measure. That measure has become now nothing. Nothing means it is becoming 0, right? So let us understand. One is if the angle A is becoming larger and larger, and if it reaches 90 degrees, then what happens? Angle C is tending to 0 degrees, and AB, the measure for this particular thing, is tending to 0. Now, what happens to sine A then? Sine A will be opposite by hypotenuse. Opposite is BC, hypotenuse is AC. So what happens? That becomes 1. How? Because if we consider opposite will be BC, hypotenuse also becoming the same, that means that has to become 1 only, no? Both numerator and denominator will be the same. Now cos A is adjacent by hypotenuse. Adjacent is AB, hypotenuse is AC. So AB is tending to 0, that means the numerator is 0, that means it will become 0. That's why cos A tends to 0. What is this cos A and cos A is nothing but cos 90, and sin A is nothing but sin 90. Sorry. Because B slowly, the angle A is slowly becoming angle B. Angle B is 90 degrees. That's why we say all these things as 90 degrees. That's why we consider this as cos A as well as sin A as 90 degrees. Means sin 90 degrees is equal to 1, cos 90 degrees is equal to 0. Once we have sin and cos value, the other trigonometric ratios can be easily identified. First one, tan. It is sin by cos, which means 1 by 0. 1 by 0 is undefined. That's why tan 90 is undefined. Then cosecant of 90 degrees is reciprocal of sin 90, which means what? 1 divided by 1, which is nothing but 1. Secant 90 is reciprocal of cos 90, which means 1 by 0. 1 by 0 will be undefined. Cot 90, it is actually cos by sine. Cos by sine is 0 by 1. 0 by 1 will become 0. So in this video, we had seen how do you evaluate the trigonometric ratios when the angle tends to 0 degrees and it also tends to 90 degrees. So in case if you find all this contents of this video to be useful, I would request you to please like, share and subscribe, and we'll see you again in the next videos. Thank you.